All right, y'all, we are back with another video. And before we start, please put prayers for Donald Trump in the comment section. Please, prayers for Donald Trump. Now, we got even more information that the Secret Service director got screamed at to her face. Like, the senators, they was not playing around with the Secret Service director. They got her face to face and were asking her, why did you allow Donald Trump to go on stage if y'all knew that it was a shooter on top of the building? And then not only that, this woman, Kim Cheetah, tried to run. She literally was trying to run from them while they was asking her questions about the situation with Donald Trump and what almost happened. See, this right here is just unbelievable. This woman should resign. She should be fired for allowing this to happen. They knew that shooter was on top of that building, and they still let Donald Trump go on that stage. Now, we definitely about to get straight into it. And even Donald Trump blamed her for the assassination attempt. So let's go ahead and dive straight into it. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you can stay up to date with everything that's going on. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight into this, y'all. Let's go.
It would take someone, who'd be willing to be assassinated to do anything like that. And so as you're choosing your leaders, ask yourself, does this person mean it enough to die? And that's the same question you would ask about your own dad. Does he love me enough to die for me? About your own husband, does he love me enough to protect me from a home invader at risk to himself? Like, the basic prerequisite for leadership is love of the people you lead and the willingness to die for them. And if you don't have that, you shouldn't be leading, period. It's true in the military, it's true in business, it's true in your home, and it's true in the government. And so no president will fix this unless he's like literally willing to die for it. And short of that, it can't be fixed.
What's up, guys? Your boy Benny. At what level does incompetence reach malice? This is the question that everybody is asking right now about the Donald Trump assassination attempt on Saturday, where a Joe Biden donor was allowed to, and you're literally looking at him right here, a Joe Biden donor with a AR-15 and a ladder is able to just wander around the Trump rally without anybody stopping him. In fact, Secret Service had eyes on him for over an hour, we now have learned, and nobody did anything. They allowed Donald Trump to take the stage now in a remarkable, in the greatest security failure, arguably in American presidential history.
Yep.
This man was able to put a bead on Donald Trump and then to take shots at Donald Trump. And they knew about him for an hour ahead of time.
It's a briefing today. You got some information about what happened, Aisha?
Dana, good afternoon to you. We just got a big information dump, and some of it is deeply, deeply troubling. So I'm going to hold your hand and walk you through this. Just bear with me here. A lot of notes that I'm going to look at here. Just about a couple minutes ago, these senators came out of this briefing with Secret Service. They've been asking for it for days now. Finally got it with the director and Secret Service staff. And the top headline that has come out of it, according to Senator John Barrasso, just spoke to him as soon as he hung up on this briefing. He said that apparently the Secret Service had identified as a character of suspicion this man, this shooter, because they saw a rangefinder on him as well as a backpack. And this all happened more than an hour before the shooting actually occurred. So they saw the guy and they identified this guy as suspicious. Now, more details coming from a source familiar here who was also in the meeting tells me that about 10 minutes before former President Trump went onto the stage, they had gone from looking at this guy as suspicious to now looking at him as a threat. That is coming from this briefing that the senators were in. They were told that Secret Service had called it in to a center that this guy they now identified as a threat about 10 minutes before President Trump walked on stage, and they still allowed him to walk onto that stage. I'm told the Secret Service agent in charge there was on the phone with local and state police about the threat while the shooting was taking place. That's huge.
Wow.
And that is raising a lot of concerns and now major calls for the director of the Secret Service to step down immediately.
Check this out. The director of the Secret Service, when asked why there wasn't an agent on that roof, because obviously you need to put an agent on that roof. Idiots. Why wasn't there an agent on the roof? She says because it had a sloped roof.
Excuses.
Yet the actual snipers that day were on a roof that was more sloped.
Exactly.
This is too slopey, and this is not slopey enough.
Excuses.
You know, the White House has a sloped roof, you idiot. Who gave the stand-down order? This is the question. Who gave that order? Who said that Donald Trump needed to have the D team or the F team surrounding him that day? Who said President Trump needs to have like the DEIest of DEI Secret Service agents surrounding him that day, who couldn't even holster their weapons? Who placed this individual, who's 2 feet shorter than President Trump, on his detail that day? Ladies and gentlemen, who didn't secure this obvious building right here? Who didn't do that? A remarkable thing. The head of Secret Service and the leaders of the security detail should resign, says Elon Musk, as videos, of course, of witnesses pour onto the internet of people saying, yeah, dude, we all saw this guy from a mile away. You can literally see him stalking the president right here. There he is, right there.
Just standing over there.
Well, pretty amazing because now the person being stalked by U.S. senators who did not like their briefing is Kimberly Cheadle, who has the height of bureaucratic mendacity, audacity, and hubris to actually show up at the RNC convention. Just remarkable. We were going in and out of the building, and we saw her whisked by us. We were going in and out of a hotel, and we saw her with a huge security detail come flashing by us. Her name's Kimberly Cheadle, and she got absolutely bodied by senators yesterday. Marsha Blackburn and John Barrasso were 2 of them. Here's what they said.
This is exactly what you were doing today on the call.
Stonewalling. Attempt. You owe the people answers. You owe President Trump answers.
So this is a really interesting tactic here because senators have the right to question figures inside. I mean,
and then you can just see she literally just running away from them. She don't even want to talk about it. But yet you show up to the RNC though, knowing that it's Trump supporters there, knowing they're going to ask you about it. So you got to realize one thing: this woman is good friends with Jill Biden. So she gonna say she didn't let a police up there because of the roof being sloped when the snipers, the Secret Service, was up on another roof that was sloped. See, she coming up with these excuses because she's a liar. She allowed this to happen. They knew an hour before, and they still allowed President Trump to get on stage knowing it was a threat on another building. So all the police, all the Secret Service, they inside the building, eating, talking noise, or whatever the case may be. Why is a shooter on top of the building, then shot Donald Trump and took out somebody in the crowd and harmed 2 other people that's in critical condition? Like, this woman needs to be fired. You got a woman that's 5'2" sitting in front of Donald Trump, which Donald Trump body, head, everything is still exposed. So why would you put a woman that short to be in front of Donald Trump? She can't block him. I mean, this right here is just something that just went wrong. The Secret Service failed Donald Trump. The Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, failed Donald Trump. She needs to resign. She needs to be gone because you cannot allow something like this to happen again, especially under her watch. So basically, she admitted in another interview, they literally knew about this guy on the roof. So pretty much you saying is, hey, we let him on the roof, but we ain't gonna shoot at him. We're gonna let him fire off his shots at Donald Trump, and then we'll shoot him. So she pretty much saying she allowed this shooter to get on the roof, knowing he was up there, knowing it was a threat on top of the building, and allow him to fire off 5 to 7 shots and struck people. She allowed this to happen. There's no way this woman can still be in power. Kimberly Cheadle needs to be fired. She needs to be gone. And that's why I said before, Donald Trump blamed her for this assassination attempt. He in outrage. He is pissed off about this, and he should be. And now the senator's trying to ask her questions about it, and she just running away from him. Don't even want to talk to him, but gonna show up to the RNC though.
Oversight, right, of Article 2 of the Constitution. This is how it works. Senators, Article 1, oversight, Article 2. So Kimberly Cheadle went and effectively was brought into a secure holding location.
I wish Donald Trump would have had this good of a security. The Secret Service is running away from the United States Senate, refuses to answer questions for the American people about the threat on the life of Donald Trump and what they knew, when they knew it, and why they ignored it.
She can run, she cannot hide. We will get some answers.
There you go.
You know what? I say good, I guess. You know, like I'm watching these kind of clips. Here's how Fox covered it.
You hung up on. We're here. You cut out the meeting first.
Hospitality salute is actually to thank the partners who have helped secure the Republican National Convention, and I was not going to take away from their safety.
Well, we can find a place to go right now.
See, the problem is she's trying to get out of not talking about it. That's what Cheetah's trying to do. She trying to find a way not to talk about it. They were like, well, no, we can go somewhere else. If you feel like that you don't want to hurt what's going on at the RNC, okay, we can go somewhere else and talk about this. This needs to be talked about. But the thing is, she's trying to get out of not talking about it. She don't want to talk about it. So that's the reason why she's just going to run off. Just take off running, basically.
Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoy.
No, we're going with you.
Look at her just running.
I'm telling you the answer. The answer to us. The answer to us. This is exactly what you were doing today.
This was an assassination attempt. You owe the people answers. You owe President Trump answers.
Good for you. Honestly, this is I like seeing this energy
Yep.
from the typically completely and totally neutered Republican Senate, the complete eunuch Republican Senate. Like, I love seeing it. This is great. If this is the new energy where they're actually going to try and hold people accountable and not just like send mean tweets, then fine, good. I'm here for it. Kimberly Cheadle does I cannot believe the hubris of this bureaucrat. This shows you exactly the culture of Washington. What a reptilian, parasitic culture of Washington. That these people, that her having nearly gotten, and on the level of what I believe is criminal malice, gotten the president killed, decides to show up at the Republican convention.
Do you agree with congressional Republicans' assessment that you should resign? Are you not going to answer? The Speaker of the House called on you to resign. Do you have a comment? Are you going to comment?
See, you would think that somebody like that the president almost got, taken out because of her. At least you will want to speak to the American people, say, hey, you know what? It's my fault. This right here should have never happened. But when you just walking and ignoring people who want answers about why you allowed this, y'all knew an hour beforehand, y'all still allowed President Trump to come out. I'm telling you, they let you know right there that this woman allowed that shooter onto that roof to take shots at Donald Trump. How can you allow him to get on the roof and get off 5 to 7 shots before they took out the shooter? And then let Donald Trump and anybody know to get him off stage. And now she refuses to answer from people who want answers.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think this is going to end anytime soon.
Nope.
Obviously, the Senate is pissed, as are all Republicans. The Secret Service is now under an enormous amount of fire. This is the statement on the senators demanding questioning. Continuity of operations is paramount during critical incidents. The U.S. Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, has no intention of stepping down. She deeply respects the members of Congress, fiercely committed to transparency and leading the Secret Service through internal investigation, strengthening the agency. So she's not going to step down. There's a way to get her to step down. Marsha Blackburn says Kimberly Cheadle cares more about protecting herself than protecting our nation's presidents. Resign. There's a way to get her to step down. The way is to elect Donald Trump. and then you fire her on day one, and then you criminally investigate.
And then you see what Don Jr. said right here. We want answers. Why is the Secret Service director running away from accountability, literally? Thank you, Ed Vote Marshall and Senate John, for demanding that we get the truth. What else is the Secret Service hiding? The same way I've been saying. The reason why I said in my video that the snipers, like, they literally knew that this guy was on the roof and let him fire off shots before they took a shot. So why would you let, a shooter take shots before you take the shot? So who told them to stand down? Obviously it was Kim Cheadle. So she pretty much was trying to set all of this crap up. And now she has been caught. That's why she's running away. Don't want to answer any questions. Well, you would think she would be trying to clear this stuff up, but she's running.
Get her and charge her for manslaughter, for negligence and manslaughter. This is what you do. She should be charged. She should go to prison.
So should.
We want answers. Why is Secret Service director running away from accountability, says Donald Trump Jr. Thank you, Marsha Blackburn, Senator Barrasso. What is the Secret Service hiding? So now we have the Trump kids in on it. Kim Cheadle stepped down. Mike Lee as a senator. Why is Biden protecting Kim Cheadle? Well, because Joe Biden is barely able to move right now. This is Speaker Mike Johnson saying that she needs to step down immediately. Joe Biden is the only person who can actually fire her. We lost an American hero on Saturday, and within millimeters of losing President Trump.
If Joe Biden really cared, like that message he put out about Trump, I hope Donald is all right. I'm going to call him and check on him. If he really feel that way, why hasn't Joe Biden fired this woman yet? Because if he knew that this woman is the reason Donald Trump was nearly killed, won't you think Joe Biden will fire her? But no, he ain't going to do that because he's fake. That message, that little thing he was saying in the interview, that was just a facade. He just saying something just to be saying something. He don't really care about Donald Trump. He's talking about putting the bullseye on him. Now he's trying to walk that back. Oh, I didn't mean it that way. These people are full of liars, man.
This is inexcusable good. Elon Musk trolling here with the photo of the Cheeto in the lock. A visual approximation of the Secret Service director's Cheeto foolproof assassination protection strategy. Yeah.
Put a Cheeto right there. That's crazy.
Marsha Blackburn has been calling for accountability and is leading the charge here. Silence out of Mitch McConnell. So, when somebody asked Mitch McConnell, what did you know and when did you know it? Eric Trump is now saying that the Secret Service effectively, the incompetence, again, this is the age-old question, right? Which is, at what point does incompetence lead, enough incompetence leads to actual malice, right? So at what point does it cross over from incompetence, as Eric Trump says here, into literal malice, where you are actually attempting or putting the president in a situation where he's going to get killed? Yep. That's sure as hell what this looks like.
Yeah, he's just wandering around.
There he is.
And so you tell me that the police officer, the snipers that sit on top of the roof that's walking around, did not see that guy pacing back and forth, knowing he was up to something. And he was able to carry a long ladder, a big old long ladder, and they didn't see him carrying a ladder with a rifle? Like, come on. This was a setup. It was an inside job. We ain't stupid. That's why Kimberly Cheetah don't want to answer any of these questions. They knew he was up there. She let him up there to take those shots. Remember, she's friends with Jill Biden and Joe Biden. They very close. So, I mean, there's no way that guy was walking around with a ladder and they didn't see him.
There's a shooter just wobbling around. The building had a sloped roof. Well, now that we've caught her in a lie, what else is she lying about, right? The building had a sloped roof. The shooter's parents called the cops on the day of the Pennsylvania rally saying he was missing. Oh, my goodness. How many more warning signs do you need? Julie Kelly saying, I have a little different take on this performance. The reason Kim Cheadle is entrenched and non-responsive to the hubris and hubristic is because the Senate GOP has done nothing, absolutely nothing, to rein an out-of-control Biden regime. Same clowns that prioritize funding Ukraine over holding corrupt bureaucrats accountable and responsible. Cheap talk at hearings about accountability, no action ever when they have control of the Senate. This is a really great point. I'll let The president's children speak for themselves. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is Eric Trump talking about the levels of incompetence seen in the inside of the Secret Service and what it means going forward.
Did you notice your dad a little changed last night?
Yeah, there's no question. There was a humbleness. And, you know, it's honestly, I'm infuriated as I just watch you go through this intro. I mean, my father almost lost his head because of that incompetence. Think about that excuse. Secret Service isn't capable of walking up a roof that has a narrow pitch. My 4-year-old daughter could have walked up that roof, and they let a gunman at 130 yards, which is a chip shot. It's a 4-inch putt. Take a shot at the former president of the United States and very likely the future president of the United States from 130 yards away because they were afraid to step on a narrow roof. That's really her excuse. Jesse, it's infuriating. It's infuriating. It's an act of God that he survived. And honestly, when he walked in here last night, I've never been more proud of the guy in my entire life. I was in tears. I think the entire place was in tears. The cheers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The entire place was in tears. I mean, just to see the man come out, you know, I mean, it was just a wonderful thing to see.
Unbelievable. I think he walked in with a graciousness, with a humbleness, probably, you know, a thankfulness to be alive. Because honestly, in any other situation, he probably wouldn't be alive. But you hear this nonsense come out of Washington. We deserve better as a country. We deserve a whole lot better than this as a country.
The sloped roof excuse hoax, that's what we're going to be calling it. Your dad apparently ripped up the convention speech after surviving this assassination attempt. And it's going to be different now.
Yeah.
How's it going to be different, and why is it going to be different?
He wanted to be very unifying. He told me that directly. He goes, I want to be incredibly unifying. And listen, I think your eyes, you know, your life probably flashes a little bit before your eyes. You know, it was millimeters away from being game over. And can you possibly imagine what that means for this country? You know, I mean, could you imagine a former president being executed on live TV? I was watching this with my daughter, with my son on my lap at home. The whole country was watching it. The whole world saw those images.
Yep.
That was going to be the image of American greatness. That's what we want to project to the rest of the world, all because of incompetent Secret Service director and a president that does not know his Secret Service director is a female, not a male. You know, this is what we're dealing with. And then you have the personal anger that I have as a son, as a person who absolutely adores the man, as a person who would do anything for the man. I get to watch it on TV because of their incompetence. Jesse, it's unthinkable. I mean, how in modern day world can this possibly happen? But I'm telling you, the love in this room, you see it right now. The love in this room when he walked out was unbelievable.
Yes, it was.
When you hear about the fact that not only they were cat and mousing this assassin, they were allowing your father to take the stage and stay on the stage.
And that was the thing, though. That's the problem right there. They knew an hour before, and they still allowed Donald Trump to take the stage. They still allow him to take the stage, and they knew ahead of time. So you tell me they didn't get the word back to Donald Trump. People say, "Hey, don't let him come out on stage. We seen that we got a shooter over here on a building." They didn't do that. It's so much stuff wrong with this. You got to realize the guy was walking around with a ladder, with a gun. They claimed they didn't see him, or they did, but they didn't alert Donald Trump them. He get on top of a roof, firing off shots. They seen him the whole time on top of the roof. They didn't fire off their shots until he fired at Donald Trump. It's just so much wrong with this. The reason why a lot of people saying it was an inside job to try to take out Donald Trump. The Secret Service failed Donald Trump, and I just pray to God he get new Secret Service around him, not the same ones. Don't have no problem with the Secret Service women, but you don't need women out there. The woman, she couldn't even holster a gun. She was struggling to do that. Then they put a 5'2" woman in front of Donald Trump. I mean, that right there is just uncalled for. Kimberly Cheetah need to be fired, man. She got to be gone.
What does that tell you, and do you feel safe? Is your father safe for the rest of the campaign?
You know, my heart breaks because I know some of the agents that were around him, and they jumped on top of him, and they would absolutely have taken a bullet for him. And I know these people personally, and they're amazing people, but, I mean, what happens if this threat was 300 yards away, which isn't a long shot, or 400 yards away is not a long shot in modern terms? You know, would they have even picked it up at that point? I mean, they don't pick it up at 130 yards. They're not picking it up at 400 yards. So it makes me wonder about the whole perimeter around him. And again, my heart breaks because the people who were on the ground, they did their job, and they could have eaten a bullet too. But it can't happen. We almost lost a great man. We almost lost a great leader. And I truly believe a leader that will go down as the modern-day George Washington, the modern-day Jefferson. I mean, he's in the ranks of those leaders. I really believe that.
Shout out to Eric Trump, man. There you go right there. Make sure y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section. Like I said before, prayers for Donald Trump. We're going to continue to call out Kimberly Cheetah and the Secret Service that failed Donald Trump. We definitely going to keep doing that. I will keep y'all up to date as I gather more information and stuff like that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.